Saw this article in Insurance Journal about California regulators suspending approved robotaxi service for safety reasons. Now, if folks aren't aware, there are companies out there operating autonomous vehicles in different cities around the country. And likely even here in Florida, there are some of those going on. I read an article months ago now about a company where a human pilot was driving a large truck, an 18-wheel truck from a warehouse in Georgia on interstates. The truck was pilotless, for lack of a better way to put it. But that's not even fully autonomous. We're talking about taxi cabs that are responding to calls, picking people up, dropping them off. In particular, I think one of the largest cities doing this is San Francisco. I think Phoenix is doing this too. But what stuck out to me was that this particular service has gotten their license revoked for operating these autonomous vehicles because of some issues somebody got backed into, or in fact, one of them lost their connection or had a software glitch of some kind, which created a traffic snarl. From an insurance standpoint, I mean, there's all kinds of things we could talk about with this, but the idea that we've got self-driving cars running around, picking people up, dropping them off, and this is only going to grow in the larger cities around the country.
So when you say robo-taxis, do you mean there's actually you said driverless taxi, but does the company that make the robo-taxis go out of their way to actually construct a robot that sits in the cab front seat with a checkered cab hat on and where to kind of thing? Like, is that part of the service?
Why not?
Fast, right?
Why wouldn't you do that? It's like, I'm thinking about Airplane, the automatic pilot, where it was the inflatable. They had the inflatable guy that they actually sat down in the pilot. And the plane started to crash, so they picked his inflatable arms up and put him back on the wheel, and it leveled out. No, George, we need to flesh this out. We need to talk more about, when you say robo-taxi, because,
Well, I didn't say it. That was Patrick's.
What I did not want to see is like a RoboCop version of a taxi.
The police cars, when it's RoboCop, they're going to run into copyright issues with that. The RoboCops.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'll tell you, with the autonomous vehicle angle, I love this topic because it's come up in classes a lot that I've talked about over the years. It's just an interesting thing. It's like true disruption. So much of the things that people like to say are disruption. It's a term that's overused, but cars going beyond a self-driving tool, hey, I can still in the car. I just don't have to pay attention. I can, bang out emails on my phone or whatever because the car is going to handle it. I mean, these cars are empty until they have a passenger. And the idea of, okay, well, we'll start off as a taxi service and eventually we'll be able to hail these cars to send our dog to the veterinarian. The car will pick the dog up and take him to the vet. You don't even need a person there. It's such such an incredible thing. And you're right. San Francisco, Phoenix, these are two of the original sort of beta markets and autonomous vehicles are still operational in San Francisco. The license that was suspended was one carrier. It was Cruise, the General Motors division of autonomous vehicles. So the city itself still has the option available, as does Austin, Texas, and they are piloting this in many cities across the country, including Miami, Florida, which, I just things can be so weird and unusual there anyway. I mean, why shouldn't there be cars with no people in them? I mean, why? This is a perfect market for this.
Autonomous driverless vehicles in Miami sounds like a bad idea to me because I've driven in Miami, and most glaring thing, the biggest thing you need to know about driving in Miami is A, don't, and B, nobody does what you think they're going to do.
No, go ahead. I wonder if the autonomous vehicle, because there's so many, every road is a toll, including the interstates down there now.
Right.
And I know that they got rid of the cashless lanes. So I can't help but wonder if, the autonomous vehicle thing, I don't even know where I'm going with that. I was trying to connect it somehow to the people that throw the coins and always miss the basket when they throw the coins out, and maybe the robots could do a better job. And I just completely contradicted my own anecdote by saying, actually, they're all cashless. So forget it. Forget that. There's no angle there. None. Total dead end.
The autonomous vehicles and the autonomous toll booths.
See if the
begin to
robot can
fight
throw
each
the
other.
quarters any better. One of the things about what happened in San Francisco that is truly remarkable, and I don't want to make light of this because the individual, last I read, was critically injured, and for all I know still is, or maybe worse, I don't know. The story, or excuse me, the circumstance which led to the suspension of Cruz's robo-taxis in that city. Did you see the detail of what happened? You kind of touched on it there. They had a pedestrian who was hit by a hit and run vehicle first. She was hit by another vehicle.
I missed that.
A hit and run vehicle, lowest form of humanity, hit and run. That caused her body to be moved closer to traffic. And then the robo-taxi hit her. And not only hit her, but when the robo-taxi, the Cruz vehicle, was trying to come to a stop, as it was obviously supposed to do, dragged this woman under the car, and it actually came to a stop, trapping her under one of the wheels.
I saw that piece.
So, again, I don't want to make light of this. This is a horrific story, but I just want to say, anytime you think that things aren't going great in your day, think about this poor person who gets hit by a hit and run driver, tossed into traffic, and then hit by a car without a driver. This is an unbelievable chain of events. The fact that a human being had to go through that, is just amazing to me.
Yeah.
That facet of the story, just now I can't do a robo driver impression now because I'm going to look like, robo jerk. So
yeah,
I can't. Well, yeah, I mean, I guess we'll end this segment by, Patrick, when the robo taxi backed into somebody, that wasn't a person, that was another car, right?
I mean, there've been other kinds of
right.
accidents, things like that, but yeah.
Just,
but the thing that got Cruz suspended was this, in particular, this accident where the lady was dragged, and that is those events. Those are the kinds of things people will latch hold of to say we can't have this. And to me, it's such an early time when you have so many vehicles that are human piloted, and mix in these vehicles that are going to do exactly what they're supposed to do best they can as far as their programming and whatnot. And you've got people that are going to do whatever, just fill in the blank. People will do 1,000 different things, and none of them that you can all expect.
Absolutely. Well, there should be at least a robo mannequin or shell of somebody that when somebody gets in an accident, they can drag out of a car and do something with, at least that little bit of a service that they
yank the crash test dummy out of the driver's seat.
Yeah,
exactly.